What's going on, everybody? Welcome to your daily astrology horoscope for Friday, November 22nd, 2024. Astrologer Brian Scarborough here, fixed air moon, keeping the collective fixed on astrology. I appreciate you all very much. I hope everybody had a great week. Happy Friday. Happy Sag season. Happy, joy. It's a jovial time of Sagittarius season. Um, I hope everybody's feeling good and happy and all those things. As we look at Friday, as we close off the old work week, in society, we're going to see that sun at 1 degree Sag. And this is a really good time to identify our hopes or dreams or beliefs, kind of point the arrow in the direction, have some faith in something more. Maybe learn some things, maybe also express our wisdom, right? We're going to see that moon finish up in Leo. And it's going to make a quincunx to Neptune, which can heighten sensitivity, but also heighten creativity. And I think we want to use our creative passions and our heart and kind of start the day off on the right foot to create something that's expansive in our life, something that feels identified, especially with Mars slowing down very much here in Leo, getting ready to retrograde at 6 degrees, but making the exact sextile to the south node and the exact trine to the north node. And I think it's a really good opportunity to identify the relationships in life that are not only just expanding, but that make our heart expand and that make us feel like we can be more ourselves, that can make us feel empowered. This is a time where relationships should be empowering you to be the most creative version of yourself. Whether it's a relationship to a person or a job with Venus in Capricorn, the work you do you feel inspired? Is there inspiration right now? And I think it's one thing to be in limbo a little bit, but it's another thing to just sit in it. And I think we want to like kind of be seeking out inspiration and letting our heart and our intuitive nature sort of guide us to identify and actualize what we want out of life, whether it's just a creative project or something big for a career move or just something that's going to feel like it's going to make you happy. We want to kind of put some focus here. Venus is still in sextile with Saturn in Pisces. So, hard work does pay off right now. And I think we also want to remember that. Like, sometimes we have to have a little blind faith in the things that we want to pursue and even getting to our goals or reaching higher in life or relating in a more, whether it's from a place of more integrity or from a place of a more solid institute within ourselves, relate that. And like, we don't want to repress um, the side of ourself that is beautiful and that is loving and can really go out and conquer the world. It's interesting, right? Mercury's going to go retrograde in a couple days in an interesting spot here in detriment, still opposing Jupiter. That's not going away anytime soon. Um, so we're just trying to find a good balance here psychologically and mentally, um, so that we can kind of let our heart and our intuitive side guide the way. And I think sometimes we want to maybe overexpress or overdo it. And I think it's more about like just kind of getting to the point with things and like express what needs to be said. And like there's a seriousness in some ways with Venus here as it disposits the south node and Mars disposits the north node and making those good aspects. Is that we really have to know what we want out of life and we have to believe it's obtainable and to kind of keep going in that direction of whatever that North Star is and to not give up. So there's a little bit of striving, a little bit of like trying to balance and weigh things out a little bit, especially mentally. But ultimately, what brings you joy and happiness and what brings love into your life is ultimately the things that you should be identifying the most with, whether it's a person, place, or thing. That's where it's going to get real good. As we move into the evening, the moon's going to ingress into Virgo and kind of ground things out a little bit. So, use the fire in the morning while you got it. Use the spark because there could definitely be like, ooh, a little spark here. We're also going to see in the morning too, Uranus and the moon in square. So speaking of sparks, like there can definitely be some sparks. But again, it's like you should feel that spark for the things that are quality in life and for the things that are more uniquely identifiable to yourself that make you want to share how you're feeling with others. And, don't, yeah, if other people are sharing stuff with you, like don't be surprised if you get some shocking information, but stay in your heart. And as the moon does come into Virgo, we might want to consolidate a little bit and like ground out some of the electricity that sparks in the morning, or just the creative fire that can spark. And that moon's gonna make a square over to the sun. So there's a little bit of stress internally, but it can be used in a positive way if we're like creatively actualizing something and innovating with Pluto and Aquarius now, and trying to get to a future, and believing that something better is out there, and not being afraid to try different things or adjust in different ways, but to just kind of go with that flow and trust that the heart knows best right now. Because the mind is up in, we don't know. We don't know where the mind's at right now. But it's a time of Sagittarius season to be intuitively guided to the higher knowledge that's going to help you innovate, succeed, build routine, clean things up as necessary, and get certain processes in order. And I think that you'll find by this Friday that a lot of processes can get in order if you don't get too frazzled or worked up, but instead find that like comfortable balance between chill sort of aesthetic of life, but also that passion and that fire that's burning to move forward in life and to do something to better oneself, and to do something to better relationships and to better career. A little bit of process, a little bit of can do can go a long way on this Friday and set you up for hopefully a really nice weekend. Appreciate you all, as always. Ooh, almost dropped deck right there. Slippery fingers tonight. All right, we got the Hanged Man upright. Owie. Well, I don't, it's an interesting card, the Hangman, because it does bring a level of like enlightenment and kind of seeing things from a different perspective. And I think that that's an interesting way to look at today, is like with the squares to Uranus and the square to the sun in Sag, there's like a unique sort of higher perspective to life that you could find through more of an intuitive download or through a heart-centered place, where linearly it's just like wanting different sort of facts or truths to show up, but there's a truth that's burning within us all of like what's going to make us happier, what is a better process. And sometimes we got to trust that different perspective and just kind of try it. And I think we can get hung up thinking when there's a lot of beauty and joy, and also kind of bringing an element of perfection into our lives if we take action for something that makes sense into the future and that we're trying to really build on right now. So it's almost like take all the really good qualities of you that you have and really like courageously amplify those things, and believe and hope that it's going to get you to where you want to go, instead of maybe judging or critiquing things too strongly and then getting hung up and stuck in some kind of a paralysis. I love you all. Have a beautiful Friday. I'll see you for the weekend forecast tomorrow. Much love. Peace.